is the top row, which is known as Piano Row. I live here at number 79, and I would personally love to know who lived here about 100 years ago. I want to know what they were doing and why they were here, what it was like for young children at this time, and what did they have to do to actually be able to make sure that life sustained for them.
Communities back in the olden times, my granddad's told me they were very much together. Like everyone would help each other to do anything they needed to, where now anyone can get in touch with anybody, so it's a bit more spread out and everyone's like grown apart. Instead of them days, it's like together, a unit and a family.
You could go on to your next door neighbours and make friends and do. The doors weren't locked. Today if you go down the street, you've got to lock the door, haven't you? Everything was different. Everybody respected one another, and there was a lot of honesty. And there was a lot of poor people. But if you'd got a spare bit of money and you know they'd got none, you'd take it. I've seen my mum take sugar and milk and tea for ladies, you know, who's got nothing. But what do you do today? Don't know.
Different eras. We don't have to work at young ages, but they did. And we have a chance to go to school and be educated, and it's free for us. But back in those days, it was actually quite expensive.
To maybe find out the children's means of enjoyment and happiness, how they found that, would be rather interesting, because with all that hardship and with all the struggle, how could any child really be happy in that?
Why did they have to go to work? Was it because their parents were very poor, or because they were forced to do it from other people?
Just how they lived, really, you know, how they kept on going no matter what, you know, how they stuck it out, you know, because it must have been difficult. I can't really imagine what it's like, because I mean, a lot of people nowadays think that, you know, life's pretty dull, but really, compared to what they were like, we have life handed to us on a silver platter.
I used to have to go to Sunday school at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning, 2:30 children in the afternoon, and then have all my best clothes on Sunday evening to go to evensong. And I used to drop asleep when sermon was on, when Mama used to put her arm around me. I was that small.
Oh, my grandmother walked 6 miles to school, 6 miles back. And on Saturday, Sunday, they walked twice to church, 6 miles there and 6 miles back.
I used to go 3 times a day. And look at me now.
Clever.
Still wear it.
What was it like as a young person?
And at 16, my dad said, why don't you come and work at Pitt?
And really, when I started coming to Bolsover, I was to join Bolsover Moorfield School Youth Club.
So I started at the Bolsover Colliery.
The Girls' Brigade, we used to go camping and have days out and visits to the castles and visits to the famous houses. It wasn't a lot of money to go in them days. Yeah, we used to go miles and miles.
I mean, all the pits were working. People weren't rich like, but there used to be a picture house which was called the Plaza. People would go there. There was a cinema down Carvale. People would go to that one. So, I mean, entertainment-wise, there was enough to do in Bolsover, I think, yeah.
The buses used to come from all over, Sheffield and all over, to Bolsover. And you go and dance on the lawn with the young lady.
The illuminations were every August up in Sherwood Lodge. They bought them from Blackpool originally, the old ones from Blackpool.
I was just 14 and a half. I left school well, to be quite honest, I left school, but instead of the last day at school, I'd gone camping. With some of the girls from school, we went to Amber Valley for 3 weeks. I don't know if you remember it, you'll not know it. And I came home on the Friday. On the Monday, I was working.
Heritage Food Day, take 3.
Today, we are going to make Victoria cheese straws and Victorian scones.
gravy cheese straws, walnut cream cheese. Oh, chicken, it's from a pig. It's the intestines, it's sort of squashed and put under a press, and he puts some salt and vinegar on, and it was lovely, like, you know, it was a good meal. But you don't see it. I don't suppose it's hygienic to eat intestines nowadays, like.
You used to make the Sunday roast, you used to take the joint out, and then the grease and lard that was in the bottom, you used to lay slices of bread in the bottom of the tin, and then he used to pack it up and he used to take that down the pit with him for his breakfast on a Monday morning.
I mean, in my days, you couldn't go and have a Chinese or an Indian, and they wouldn't know what you're talking about.
They quite liked it, actually. They were surprised, yeah, but I just had these visions of this bread floating in lard.
After they roasted some meat, they take all the drippings out of the tray of meat and then put that on some bread. That's what you're having.
Thank you. What did you think to the dripping?
I like it.
And what do you think to these?
Love them.
You love them? It has changed. He used to tell me stories of how he'd gone down and used to work lots of, it was dark and it was cold and wet and scary and things, but, you know, and then it was about the 80s that they all started to close.
The thing was, Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady, she wasn't having the miners telling her what to do. She wasn't having the miners controlling the government. That's why she brought all the police in.
And when the miners' strike was on, there's now families, fathers and brothers don't talk to one another for the simple reason that they hated each other. And what do you do, love? Families turned against each other. There's no close community with the miners like there used to be years and years ago.
Brothers and sisters didn't talk. Fathers and sons didn't talk. Some went to work, some didn't. Some got to go to work to pay the mortgage. Because if they didn't pay the mortgage, they'd take the house off them. They were left in a very funny position.
It's a way of getting knowledge out to people, so that people know that the area that we live in hasn't always been like this, you know, what it was like before. Because I think knowing the history of where you live is really important to feeling comfortable in that area. So if people know the history of Bolsover and surrounding areas, it'd just make more sense, wouldn't it, you know?
I did have fun. I had a perfect childhood, I had a perfect teenage. I'm not telling you any more about my teenage years.
Because I know a lot of people don't really think much of Bolsover, but it would just show that it's not so bad.
Yes, I did interview family members. I interviewed them about like my mum and my grandma when they were pregnant and what age. And I also interviewed my grandparents and Greg's grandparent about the 80s, like the coal mines. And they all gave different answers because some people, they were for it, some people were against it, some people, they had no clue what was going on. Asking them, it was kind of difficult because people would go without jobs. It made it even more easier to put everything together and not just have facts and just look on the internet. You have to have real life like things, because if you're just going by the internet, then there could be things that are wrong.
I do remember playing in the street because there was no cars there. We used to play football in the street. When I was young, it was like that. Nothing there. So you could play there all day long.
Yeah, because my dad were a miner. They worked long hours and there were pubs and clubs. You get miners in pubs and clubs. That's it. When I was that age, I remember that.
The drill hall in Presswood. Social centre. And everything used to happen there. Welfare. Well, we had miners' welfare. We used to go for a drink. And everybody used to sort of, have a drink together, Yeah, you're all right.
We used to know each other from down pit. We used to, say if we were on nights, we used to go out Monday dinner. You know what I mean? Because it was a long weekend. So it was a Friday. We got Saturday, Sunday, and Monday was just another day. Another full day. We used to work at nights.
Everybody together, yeah.
When he had to be on a night shift, my grandmother used to let him oversleep so that he didn't go to work because she was so frightened of him working in the mines.
My dad worked down the pit and his brothers, and they had a disaster at Cresswell, and my dad lost his youngest brother.
I used to go down to paper shop for 5:30, have a cup of tea and a biscuit, catch the 20 to 6 bus from Derby Road up to Unlock Arms, up the hill, round to Adlington's estate, which was just built then, and then I used to come back and pick the other papers up, and then go up Lagger Lane and take them, and then go home. And I used to get home for 8:00, have some breakfast, out at house for 8:30, and straight to school, which took me 20 minutes, running.
Well, I left school, started in 1956 and finished in 1991. Well, we broke up from school for Christmas and I started January the 1st. You didn't get no New Year's Days or anything like that them days, just Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and that was it.
We used to know everybody, now you don't hardly know anybody.
It's not the same at all because they just want to go out for a fight after they've had one or two pints and that's it. It's not sociable, not like that. We used to play dominoes and darts and what have you, but it's not now.
You could walk around the village and it could be 2 hours walking around, where now you can go and walk around in 5 minutes because there's hardly anybody you know.
When they was on strike, and we had all pickets coming into the village, police coming into that was terrible, really awful. You never forget them things, do you?
It's like a ghost town, it is. If you want my honest opinion, the only thing what's going for this Bolsover is Bolsover Castle. If Bolsover Castle wasn't here, it'd be a ghost town.
Well, families broke up because of
families split up.
That's right.
Yeah.
And some of them don't even speak now.
In our next door neighbour, he worked at Whitwell Pit. I worked at Cresswell. Whitwell were on strike, Cresswell wasn't, because we were in a different area. So we were on strike, I was working, his son was working. So, but then again, we never fell out, did we?
No, we didn't.
We still talk. You know.
How it affected people's lives, well, you can guess. It affected people's lives, full stop, in every way. It was hard, let's put it that way. We all stood together, but when miners started going by, it split the community, straight down the middle. And it's still felt today, in my opinion. Fathers against sons and what have you. They'll never be the same. Never. Never.
You did, you knew everybody. I mean, where we lived, because we lived in a what they call model village in the pit house, and our neighbours were, well, the fellas I worked with them anyway. And you knew the wine. We'd go out and have a drink together, that sort of thing, you know.
Didn't have a lot of money then. And if you run out of sugar, you knew you could go next door and borrow a bit of sugar and then you take it back when you could afford to buy some.
Plesley Pit Baths opened on the 23rd of May 1934 and the Plesley Miners Welfare Club opened in 1923. Every 10th person that was conscripted would be sent to the mines, to work in the mines. And my father became known as a Bevin boy. So he was conscripted and he had to come down to Cresswell in Nottinghamshire where he did a month's training, and then he was sent to Annesley Colliery to work as a miner. So and of course then he worked as a miner, and then he told me to be an electrician, it was a good job. So my first week's wage, which was a good wage for an apprentice compared to other industry, about twice as much as other industries, was £4, 17 shillings and sixpence. There'd always been strikes in the mining industry right from the 20s, 30s. There'd always been slumps in price. In fact, I think in the 30s they had to go back for less money than they came out for.
I think the giant tools are interesting because I've never seen tools this big, and I want to know what they're used for and how heavy they would be and how they would actually hold them if they was that heavy. And they look really old.
Hello? What's your name?
the different tools that they used and the different ways to get, like the way they got down into the mine shaft and all the different safety precautions that they had to take in place beforehand. I found that really interesting.
The thing that I find interesting is the artwork, because it's like it shows the difference of what you shouldn't do in the mines. Like, shouldn't cause tension with the ropes. You should always wear protective gear, not to clean like things that are moving, otherwise you'll chop your arm off. It just seems to be quite interesting and quite like artistic.
I might have liked it. If it was
You might
me.
have liked it if you were on the drill.
Yeah, if I was on the drill, or if I was... But yeah, I would have done it.